and Menachem Begin together to make the first Middle Eastern peace. And so I had pictures. I'm a peace activist. I don't like war. I try to work with peace and try to bring people together and all. So I had these pictures up of the famous handshake of Jimmy Carter, our president, and Yasser Arafat and Menachem Begin. And I was working in an engineering company as the head of their computer department. And one of the engineers walked in. He was from Palestine. And he said, "Oh, you must be Jewish." And I said, "Well, actually, I'm a student of religion, so I think I have part of me in every religion. I appreciate all religions." So he said, "Well, have you read the Quran yet?" And I said, "No, it's on my list, but I haven't read it yet." He said, "Well, I will bring you a copy." So he brought me a copy of the Quran. Luckily, it was an English translation as well as in Arabic. And I was reading it, and he was telling me stories about his family in Palestine that were so heartbreaking. He said one morning, he'd only been married a couple years. He said his mother-in-law called up. Now it's early morning, right? His mother-in-law calls up and said, "Khalid, would you come over to my house? I got a problem." He said, "Oh, sure. What's the problem?" She said, "There's an Israeli tank in my backyard firing at my neighbors." And he said, "Okay, I'll come over. I can't order a tank out of your yard, but I'll see what I can do." I thought, my God, of all the things that a mother-in-law is going to ask, come get this tank out of my yard. They're blowing up my neighbors. Wow, how terrible that must be. And he has 2 young sons, and I worry about him all the time. I haven't been able to talk to him in years now, but I worry about him all the time, that his young sons seeing this horror. But we poets have our job too, right? Try to make a little peace in the world.
Little piece of what would be making peace, peace, peace. Shout out for peace. So we got.
Well, listen, you probably need to do some things to get ready. Do you want to? If you need to take some time and get ready, you're welcome to. I can turn off.
No, it's time. It's time, and we are live on YouTube, and it's running, and nobody has yet joined. But yes, it's time for us to.
Well, you know what? I will go put up some publicity. I'll be right back.
So
I'll go remind people that it's Saturday instead of Sunday.
Prasanna, I was trying to tell you that this Saturday thing was not clear enough. That's what I was trying to tell you in my text. If you're switching to another day, you have to make it very, very obvious for people.
No, I mentioned it, the Saturday.
Yeah, just for Saturday, but then the date was confusing as well. So
yeah.
You have to make it, you can just write it somewhere in the middle. You have to make it very obvious, big printed letters. Correct. Let people know you're changing.
No, I created a page, in the page that I mentioned, and the event thing, but then I don't know. Still. But anyway, you could just read out. You could just read it. We are together for the
that sounds good.
Richard.
So we will read 2. We will read 2, right?
We could not 3. You could make use of the time by the time. Okay, Richard, go. Sure. Welcome to the poetry reading with Special Birds. Unlike Sunday, we have joined today with Saturday, and yes, some our members finding it difficult to, as the change has been notified, and it's not clear.
Well, I just put up some extra publicity, and I'd be happy to read a poem or 2, and then my brother Lantern can read, and you should read too. Okay.
People would, as we go on, people will
come. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's welcome Richard Spisak. Our open mic art is a brilliant engineer, and he's got the spot of tickling funny bones. So please welcome Richard Spisak.
Thank you so very much. It is my great honor to be here, and I'm going to do a little poem. Let's see here. I'm going to do one of my COVID poems. That's a little lighthearted piece here. This is called "Down from the Trees," and I make common cause with our brethren in the animal kingdom. So here we go. "Down from the Trees," a COVID poem. Honey baby, tell me please, since we're not that long down from the trees, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, up in the branches or down on deeply polished floors. We like reciprocal, you and me, ever since we balanced on the limbs of trees. Whether out in the car or up in the tree, I'll groom you and you groom me. The one thing now that left for us as the virus sets a fence between what we really feel and what we really mean, with you so far away on the other side of the glowing screen another day, we wave weekly. How I miss your sweet perfume and the many darling ways you decorate a room. The distance mars our love sealed up behind glass walls untouched. Oh, honey baby, tell me, please, since we're really not that long down from the trees, I wish you were here to find and flick off all my fleas. We're isolated, out of touch, miles away, my fingers clutch in disarray, my clothes askew, what I wouldn't give for you to have your seat beside me here, with your fingers searching my matted hair, even to have you look with scorn at the clothes piled across the room I've worn. I'd even eat the toast you burn, if I could beside you touch you and warmly turn. And let me read this other one. This is a little.
Is always bring it on. Please give it
Okay.
on.
Okay.
Yes, it's gonna go for a second one. Yeah.
Okay. Now this one is about the picture I have behind me. It's a picture of a swimming hole up in the mountains, natural springs. When I lived in Florida for about 40 years, and after moving from Florida up into the mountains, I thought, what a great opportunity to try a different kind of swimming in a different water. Instead of swimming in an ocean, we're going to swim up in the mountains in a little spring, natural spring, right? So when we got up there, we asked around, and we found out that unfortunately the rivers nearby and the lakes nearby were all polluted. Too much chemicals in them. They weren't fit for swimming. In fact, they said you shouldn't even fish in them. Unfortunately, people still do, but that's people. Anyway, so we asked around and asked around and asked around, and finally we found people who knew about a natural swimming hole. So this is called the Blue Hole. We wanted to swim in a natural spring. That's how we are. That's how we swing. But I'd like to swim natural in a spring or a river, but we don't like pollution, not one little sliver. We checked all the rivers. We checked all the lakes. Lots of swimming hazards. Don't make any mistakes. But in this woodsy district with mountains and creeks, wasn't there someone to swim without chemical leaks? We asked all the neighbors. We asked the state park. But it took more than a year to find what anyone knew. And all of a sudden we found 4, then we found 5, who all mentioned the same spring. I kid you not, no jive. They told us the same way, every single one. They'd mention the Blue Hole, and were suddenly dumb. When we pressed them upon it, they said in one voice, it's a pure spring, that's certain, it's just not quite my choice. Is it natural and pure, we asked quizzically. Well, it's just hard to get to, quite a walk, but if you go, you'll see. A stroll in the woods, how could that be bad? The only one more thing they'd ever say was, parking was good, not a long walk. Okay. So we waited for a hot day when the sun burned so bright, a nice day for a lovely foresty hike. We drove in the mountains an hour or more. We drove up into the mountains for that Blue Hole furor. What would we find in the mysterious hole, used in the summers for a century or more? What kind of grotto? Would there be any falls? A twisty and turny road turned into the hills, surrounded by trees and ravines, with all of their fancies and frills. But after turning a corner, we see a wide spot with a gravelly area, but just one car in the lot. We pulled in quite slowly. They were loading, it seemed. the benefit of which was we could ask, was this the place of our dreams? Yes, go right down the path. They waved as they left. Neither could we tell was it north, east, south, or west. We walked around the gravel lot. There were 3 or 4 paths. Not one looked overused. We resigned with a laugh. We'd take this one at random. Not one looked direct, but it tumbled down through the woods all unsteady. We might break our necks. The woodsy path was rutted, with roots was crisscrossed, and we had to carefully place each step lest your head be embossed. And I've got to tell you, we had no free hand. We brought chairs and coolers. We brought everything but some sand. Carefully, we picked our way down to the blue hole. Each root and rock tottered and slid, don't you know? And whether from rain or mist, the whole trail was soaked. And you had to step carefully, your neck might be broke. We came into a clearing. Oh my, there it was. A pretty little grotto with ferns, rocks, and falls. A simple little spring with boulders around it, and a lovely waterfall that splashed surrounding it. So to enter the water, you had to jump from the rocks, but to climb out, my friend, you better have tentacles in your socks. The boulders surrounding it were polished and smooth, missing any handhold or ledge, not even the tiniest groove. There was nothing to grasp on, cling to. It just was all slick. But after use as a swimming hole for 100 years or more, you'd think for gosh sake they'd managed a little more. We pretended our fingers had tiny sticky pads, and we slowly lunged out. That was all we had. The water was great, it was clean, it was cool, but now we know why their mention of the blue hole was a little subdued. Thank you. Thanks for letting me take you to the blue hole.
Give a round of applause, my dear friends. So I had a beautiful ride on waterfall. That reminds me of my cascade writing and early in the beginning of my writing poems. Harpreet Minu joined us for the first time. Welcome, ma'am. How is it?
Thank you very much,
Did you find
everyone.
us?
Thank you.
Harpreet Minu.
Harpreet Minu.
Please give a round of applause to Richard and Richard. Please welcome Harpreet Minu.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
We love your
Thank you.
presence. Introduce yourself and begin your reading.
Sorry?
Please introduce yourself.
Okay. I'm Harpreet. I'm Kaur, my pen name, and I have written 6 books. 4 are in 3 in English poems and 1 in Hindi poetry. And all books are published. I'm working on the 5th English poetry book. And yeah, I just was browsing through the net and I come across your website. I try to log in and I thought I will participate and want to interact with other poets around the world to understand poetry better, because I'm learning. I'm not a born poet or something. I'm senior, so I thought it is better to do something to keep myself busy and to let out my emotions in the words. So that is how I am here. Thank you, everyone, and nice meeting all of you. And I'm sure you guys are great.
You're an established poet, ma'am. Nobody is born with the poetic thing, but we are all learners in this frame of in this world. So
yeah,
it's just humbling. It's like when you accept the thing up, and such a pleasure, having you around. And just change the date because of some, for this week
no
only.
problem.
So that's why we got this.
Normally it is on Sundays. Normally it is
every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
So tomorrow traveling, so I just have this is the last minute change.
That's okay.
But I don't want to miss you all. That's why I just. Okay, if you could just have poems around, just if you have this hand, please read some. I know, two poems. You could read them, ma'am. Any of you.
You want me to recite? Give a minute,
Yes.
because I thought today I will just listen to all of you, and I just enjoyed Richard's beautiful poem about spring and all, because sometimes I also write about nature. So I will just go through my poems, and maybe I will speak later something. So let someone speak by the time I decide which
Sure.
poem I would
That's,
like to share.
that's beautiful.
Because they say first impression is the last impression. So I just don't
But I
want to
see the
blabber.
other one more Harpreet. Is it you or some other ma'am?
I think I'm joining first time. Yeah, another. Oh, okay. I
No,
have first. No, it is me only because I log in from my mobile first, and then I realize battery is very low, so I switched it to laptop. I will remove that.
Yeah, sure. No, it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
Okay, please welcome Lantern Carrier, Acharya. Please.
Thank you, my brother. Right. On the path of loneliness and fear, every moment is a night within. My desires are the call of sirens, alluring me to murky waters of my inner turbulence. I am a doubt billionaire, walking the blind tightrope of worship, searching aimlessly for the sacred fire of freedom. What is day and what is night? What is duty? What's respite? Each now is my cloud of shadows, the screams I hear inside, the outer triggers of love that calls me, even as I cast aspersions on others for my numerous challenges. Alas, I have forgotten the supreme secret that my heart is an arena of love, entreating me to unmesh myself from this self-made web of ignorance. O night, my soul whispers, I am your glistening moon, waiting for you to be awakened. Come. The evening stars will shine as sunset fades, the rose repose in faith, knowing that buds will blossom with delight. Silence whispers of an effulgent light, waiting to glimmer on the runway of your emptiness. O night, my sleeping night, awake. That was my first one. And the second one is called This is the Love. This is the love that encourages my heart to open its light to your spirit, like a blossom in lavender, spreading its fragrance to the cosmos. This is the love that blends like an indigo blue to the heights of the sky's vastness, to the mysterious ocean of Mother Earth. This is not the love which fills my core with passion for those inevitable memorable nights, but the one that sings how much I need you in my long solitary days and nights of aloneness. This is not the love at first sight, like one full of bewilderments, yet cracks like a broken egg with the autonomy of free speech. This is not the love of vintage wine, making me intoxicated in the early hours of dawn. It is the sweet breeze at daybreak, the melodic nightingales of the morn. This is the love of the magical gracefulness of Plesetskaya in Swan Lake, tugging at the wordless symphonies of heaven, whispering, come, let us dance together on the lapis lazuli of an enchanting moonlight. This is the love I feel at work, hugging me close like a globe blends with fireflies, while painting mirrors of your smile or togetherness, your inner charisma, transforming the noisiness of my mind into the sunlit radiance of perfect peace. This is the love of tender invitation to your gorgeously scented image inside this perfume temple, so that the fragrance of thy mellifluous breath continues to flood my heart with happiness. This love does not speak with my mother tongue, rather it is the Munife E Pupo Pupo of Yoruba, the Nakupenda Sana of Kiswahili, the Medo Wo Papapa of Ghanaian Tree. It is a love steeped in the flavorings of jollof rice, of fufu ugali asadza, unfathomably tastier than the most delectable meal I've ever known. This is a love that feels calm in tornadoes, not the one hanging on to the last gasp of attachments. It reposes in silence during conflicts and other challenges that trigger the shadows within. This love is soft, sublime, and tranquil, like the quietude of the ocean's bed, free from the turbulence of disharmony. It is the gentle droning of bees, the fluttering of butterflies as they flap their magical wings, of sunflowers singing and dancing in a meadow of light. There is a fire burning inside this love, one that does not waste time dreaming of freedom, for it knows it comes only from deep within. This is a love that enfolds my cheeks with intimacy, so that the silhouette of your imprinted flames will carve the delicate softness, like fine silk, into the ecstatic memory of my soul. This is a love astonished, like the orchid, by the epitome of beauty that you have placed within us, seed, bloom, and blossom. Your light dances like shooting stars, your cup of benevolence offering only a rhapsody of delight. This is the love that fills your tenderness around me, one so close, like roses, foliage, and thorns, yet the thorn is the embryo that protects the child, you, my rose, shedding your redolence inside my breath. This is the love, my beloved. In this magical garden of mundane enticements, of watermelons, papayas, and sugarcane juices, where red berries blush at the sweetness of seasonal fruits. If you enter my sanctum, these do not matter. If you do not reveal your enchanting cheeks, these still do not matter. Yes, this is the love that when I look in your eyes, I hear only the sweetest melodies of bluebirds, sparrows, and canaries, of echoing minstrels and the seers of heaven, eloquently expressing concertos that we will always be together. Lantern Carey, thank you.
I believe love is the only thing we humans need to learn on this planet. I truly believe we all are born to experience the pain of love and the feeling of love, okay, how the love should be. So if you allow me, shall I speak something?
Sure.
I just opened up this thing. This is poem is very, very close to my heart. And I'm going to recite, maybe if I get some, but emotional, please excuse me. So the name of the poem it is in my published book, The Rise of the Phoenix. The poem is On the Edge of My Heart. It is my true experience of life, which I have written in this poem. On the edge of my heart, I heard a knock. On my forgotten pride, I heard the knock. On the past self calling me, my ego, my wounds, I never opened. Blank emotions, my attitude. Of my unconscious mind, you are a dream, reality, or shadow of my soul. I don't know. I don't know, but I know this much. My soul drowned in the tears of your love in my unconscious mind. I kept my head on my lap. I kept my head on the lap of the subconscious mind. Endless fear churns my body. I heard a knock on the empty page of my life, subconscious, my battles and my scars. I heard a knock on my head, empty mind triggered my mind, my attitude, my ego, I kept in the cage. The mirror shows me my face, ticking off the clock, tick, tock, tick. I heard a knock on the box that had my mind caged by the society. I heard a knock on the womb of my unborn child who is crying in the depth of my guts, back of my head, root of the thoughts growing from the inside of my head, brain nerves spreading on the pages of my mind. I question the truth of my existence lost in my thoughts. I heard the knock on my thoughts. My attitude melts into nothingness inside me on my dying breath. When I was least expecting one, I heard a knock on my long buried grave, on my otherwise dead emotions. Lost memories on the other side of the world. Lost memories on the other side of the world, from the border of the universe, the life I'm living. I heard a knock. I heard a knock on my thoughts stream, on my self-respect, my attitude, my past, my ego, and some vivid memories. On the back of my eyelids, I heard a knock and follow it. I heard a knock and follow it to where it would lead me, from the inside of my head, Pandora box of my mind, the inside of the treasure chest. The day I become deaf, empty mind, give it a trigger. My nostalgic self, I heard a knock from the lost self, from the freezer where I kept the dead body of my past. I heard a knock. I heard the knock at my bleeding heart. Who is there? Who is there? I wonder why. Don't stop. Password is love. Just whisper the magic word and get inside me. I am, and I will wait for you till the last breath, my dear one. Even I perish into nothingness. Thank you.
Wow. Password is love. Such a profound message. This your reading credit goes to Lantern naturally. He's the one who triggered you to write, render out. But I must confess, what a brilliant exposition of love, and anybody could react. Ma'am, Sneha ma'am, and Ganga ma'am, Richard, Lantern.
I was busy writing it down.
Sneha ma'am and Ganga ma'am or Deba ma'am, anybody, you're free to react on Harpreet ma'am's and Lantern Carrier's.
Harpreet G,
poems.
well, she says she was talking about natural experiences of life. So, but she's using a very inspirational way to lift it. And her work is full of imagery and deeper meanings. It's quite a profound work. And I guess she's looking at ways of trying to express what she's learned from her experience and where it has brought her to the reality of the only light, the only love of which she speaks.
It's true, because I believe love is not only to find a human being and, and live life with that person. Life is a very, very deep emotion. It can be with for any way, anything. Even you can love a plant, an animal, a stone, and you have to experience unconditional love. If I love somebody as a human, if a human or anyone, I don't expect anything from that person or the other human being. I just want to try to give love and try to heal the person if I see that person has some emotional, trauma or something. And when I feel the time is done, I just withdraw myself. That is how I am living. And though all those experiences I have written in maybe more than 200 poems, and most of the poems are about love only. Nature is also there, on my children, this and that, but love is the main thing which I want to spread through my writing. Okay, love should be unconditional, in my opinion.
Well, it was very beautiful. And I liked how you kept returning that, well, there was the old self, but this is the new, fresh, and how everything is new again. I thought it was beautifully said, beautifully said.
Somewhere find that you're feeling empty and kind of lost. Maybe you're feeling lonely or something. That's something, that.
That is naturally, Mr. Prasanna Kumar, because when you are senior, your children are well settled. I am 65, going to be in October, I'm 64 plus. And we all are, in my experience, I have so many friends and I'm an online person. My experience is saying we all are lonely somewhere. All of us, if we really look into our mind, though we are living in a society and leading a very fulfilling life, we feel lonely inside always. Sometime, maybe a few.
The first poem talked about that.
Yeah.
Path of loneliness and fear.
Yes. That is always there in everybody, all of us, whether we acknowledge it, we accept it, or we don't. That is different thing. But once you accept it, then you embrace it, and it will become part of you. No fear of loneliness, no fear of, that kind of emptiness, what we feel. That is how I think a poem born when you feel that way. It is my experience. I don't know about others, but I feel that way. See, all creative people are somewhere, they feel that something is missing in their life. Yeah.
Is it solitude and or is it loneliness? So there is a subtle difference between solitude and loneliness. Because people like the solitude, kind of thing. They love the solitude. They have this different kind of this thing. So what do you
Prasanna
like
sir,
to
I
say
want
about
to
that?
Prasanna sir, I want to put one question to madam.
Please, go ahead.
I want to ask one question. Huh. Madam has told that at the age of 65, we feel much lonely. The
Yeah.
age of
Yes.
65, we feel much lonely. I feel it's only due to the reason that at 65, we are free from all the responsibilities.
Absolutely.
When we were engaged with our children, with our kith and kin, relatives, parents, all these things, we had no vacant mood to think over all other things. But now at 65, after retirement, we have no one to come to our house, no one to ask to us, no one to telephone us. Only we are engaged with our books and with our environment, with our surrounding. And this is the main reason, I think, for our loneliness, solitude. Am I right, madam?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, but my lifestyle is different. My children, though I live alone, I prefer to live alone. It is my choice. They come to me every day, they spend time with me, but still there is some emptiness inside me, I feel. You call it solitude. I enjoy it. It's not I don't enjoy it. I enjoy. But sometimes I feel lonely, sometimes I feel blessed. You know that? Sometimes I feel blessed. And we now, exactly rightly you said, because children are grown up now, they are busy in their life. I want them to be happy.
Yes.
And I myself pushing them away. Okay, you go and live your happy life. You come to me,
Yes.
have spent some time with me. Let's have
Okay.
good time together. And then you go back to work and let me come back to my own self, where I'm comfortable in my
Yes.
solitude. And then
Yes.
how the creativity starts
Okay.
here. When you are free and when you are
Yes.
with yourself, then you speak to your inner
All
self.
right.
And when you speak to your inner self, you will do something. Either you write, you read, you pray, you paint.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I do all of that. And trust me, I enjoy every moment of my solitude. That is what is reflecting in my poetry. See, all these things, whatever I narrated or said in front of you in the form of poetry, is all what I feel when I was alone. This poem I have written in 3 parts. The first one, then I again go back and I read the poem, then I added some other expressions, then I again go back and then I added some other expressions, and that is how I combined them. And I don't follow any of the poetry, styles. I call it contemporary, you call it abstract, whatever it is. But I try, I think, to just express your emotions. Sometimes I don't even bother about the grammar or punctuation. If I'm sharing my thought process, I would like others to please share, because I am here to learn from all of you. I'm a seeker. I am a student right now sitting in front of you, and I want to learn from each and every one to understand poetry, because this is going to be first-hand experience for me to interact with the other intelligent, emotional, loving human beings, because poets are very sensitive people. You
Very
know,
nice, very nice.
very sensitive
Exactly.
people. We are not like others, people who are living around us. We are slightly different from them.
Poets.
Anyone, anyone, any artist, poet, people who are into, writing or painting or some kind of creative work. My personal experience is saying they are different, slightly different. Maybe
Sweet, madam.
something extra God has given to us, and we are blessed. That is how I feel. Thank you, madam.
Exactly.
So that is something said is solitude is a blessing, and loneliness is curse.
I feel it is a blessing as well as
Isn't it?
curse, because
Solitude is a
you,
blessing and loneliness is a curse.
yes, loneliness is a curse, but you should know how to handle the loneliness and convert into a creative solitude. You can do that. I
That's
am
creative.
doing it
That's
every
where
day.
creative comes up.
I am doing it every day. I know.
Madam, when a man reaches at the age of 75, how can he make solitude creative?
To do whatever comes to your mind. See, nothing is good writing in my personal opinion, and nothing is bad writing. How your emotions can be good or bad, we cannot judge anybody.
That is
We
why
should.
Ganga ma'am, that is
Sir,
a solitude. There is a
sir.
subtle difference between solitude and loneliness. Subtle difference. Subtle difference is there between solitude and loneliness. So solitude is something blessing. You have, you could explore
Okay.
inside. And unlike loneliness is what you discharge the emotion, you emotionally outburst in
Acha.
the form of tears, in the form of that kind of things.
Okay.
And, uh, that is
Okay.
negative. Being lonely, I am lonely. If you could just hear the song, and you could realize the meaning of it. So solitude is self-seeking, and there someone who loves solitude go to trekking, they go to hilly side, they go to the nature, they go to the prayer, they go to something. They
Madam,
love being, having
madam has told solitude is a
so there's
blessing.
subtle, yeah, there's subtle difference. So
Huh.
I think anyway, that was a great discussion.
Very nice.
Please
Very
welcome Psaropoulou. Thank you, Harpreet ma'am. Thank you, Ganga ma'am.
My
Thank you,
pleasure,
Gayatri
sir.
ma'am.
My pleasure. Thank
Alexandra.
Thank you.
Alexandra. unmute your mic. Alexandra. Alexandra has gone, maybe, I think. Let us welcome. Alexandra, are you there? Please unmute your mic.
Here, but one of my students just came to give me
Yo,
a
you
lesson.
had a new haircut, Alexandra. Wow, that's you trimmed it up.
I was talking to someone.
Anyways, that's Alexandra from Greece. Please welcome. Alexandra.
I haven't understood, what are we doing today? Are we chatting or are we reading something?
No, it's actually a reading, but there was a discussion that occurred.
Oh, right, okay. I thought it was a chat.
Oh, we are
Okay.
absolutely thrilled that you're going to do some of your wonderful poetry and graphics.
It's going to be a very short poem today, just for a change. It's a very short one. My dreams pure froth, unstoppable waves. Incessantly moving forward, small and large, calm and swelling, shallow and deep. Each crest the perfection of my reality. Improvising with silvery dolphins towards an uprising and declining horizon. Okay, I said it was going to be really short today.
That's record breaking.
Lovely.
Alexandra, this is the shortest one.
Yeah.
Record breaking.
That's the shortest
Otherwise,
one.
we get to
Short
that's a
poems
record
are
breaking,
beautiful.
man.
Short poems are beautiful.
Yeah,
Please give me a round of applause, my dear friends. Alexandra,
Love.
that was,
Yeah.
and that's a graphic poet. She's a teacher. She loves reading and her creative imagery. And please welcome Debashrita Basu.
Namaskar, sir. Pranam. And all of you, my dear friends, good evening. And especially to ma'am and all other ma'ams and sirs. So today, my first one I'm going to recite, The Raven. Title is The Raven. Croak, croak. Look, the raven is sitting there, completely black in color with high-spirited flair. The beauty of black is glowing all over. She is ravishing and wise moreover. Black denotes illumine and dark fate. Her sound of croaking, too, makes us feel hate. Some people consider her bad, while others deal her with glad. It is a perception of human thinking. This is how the society is built up and the world is running. The superstitions, weird thoughts make people wild. The calm considerations, the scientific thoughts make us mild. One day, a raven too visited me, croaking loudly and interfering in my spree. I thought she was warning me to take some special care, which she could foresee, but for me it was a nightmare. I do not know why the raven are ill-treated. They are the birds of wisdom and should be highly respected. People, look and search in your soul. Consider, introspect, and then fix a goal. Thank you, sir.
And I love your reading,
Very
poems.
good.
I can get across this poems on Facebook wall and the WhatsApp. That's so beautifully you write.
Very
And
nice.
Is it poem that you express?
Thank you, ma'am.
You could read out second one too. I mean, like if you have.
Can I recite one in Bengali, sir?
Yeah, sure. Please.
That I composed on the last 21st February on International Mother's Language Day. So that for remembrance of this day, I'm going to recite. মোদের ভাষা বাংলা ভাষা বাংলায় জন্মেছি আমি বাংলায় মরব গর্ব করে তাই আমি বাংলা ভাষারই পুজো করব। বাংলা আমায় দিয়েছে ঠাঁই, এই মিষ্টি ভাষা ছাড়া আর কি চাই? বাংলায় গাই গান, রবীন্দ্রনাথ নজরুল যে আমাদের প্রাণ। বাংলা আমাদের মাতৃভাষা, বাংলা আমাদের সত্তা এবং ভালোবাসা। বাংলা আমাদের চিরস্থায়ী এক কণ্ঠ, এ একরকম যে পুজোর মন্ত্র। এ মন্ত্র আমাদের নিঃশ্বাস, এছাড়া আমাদের নেই কোনো আশ। তাই বলি, সবাই বলো বাংলার জয়। বাংলা আমাদের রক্তে দেহে মনে রয়। থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
This I read, ma'am. Beautiful. Mother Language Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautifully written.
Thank
That
you.
was Debashrita Basu. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Up next is Dr. Gangalaxmi Patnaik.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Gangalaxmi Patnaik from Odisha, India, going to present a poem. The title of the poem is An Evening in the War Field. An Evening in the War Field. Before recitation, I would like to highlight challenges women face during war. It means separation, loss of family members, risk of sexual violence, wounding, deprivation. Now recitation begins. Where even for war, the women can wink the sun away or the malic moon. Even for war, the women can wink the sun away or the malic moon. Wearing blanket of blindness, she can flow like rain waters from steep sides of mountains. Wearing blanket of blindness, she can flow like rain waters from steep sides of mountains. All balloons of her wisdom burst forth, blast all bombs of her war. All balloons of her wisdom burst forth, blast all bombs for war. Frightening her disaffectionate afternoon with unkind messages, looking vacantly at changing sky to monitor. Frightening her disaffectionate afternoon with unkind messages, looking vacantly at changing sky to monitor. White whispers of very dear absence, whom she lost in the war. White whispers of very dear absence, whom she lost in the war. Recounts troubles, accursed is this vacancy, an open field of lost whisper. Recounts troubles, accursed is this vacancy, an open field of lost whisper. All devouring decays, night deepens, nightly wound seems to widen within. All devouring decays, night deepens, nightly wound seems to widen within. Certainly she can do anything not to please him, but to renew her mission. Certainly she can do anything not to please him, but to renew her mission. Now my recitation is over. Thank you.
We have one more, ma'am, in Odia or any other language?
Odia, I can't. Sorry.
Right,
If you speak, then I will recite a small. Sir?
You write beautifully in Odia. Last time you recited, right?
I have no interest for Odia language poem. The next, in darkness, sings to cheer her solitude with sweet sounds. A poet, a nightingale, in darkness, sings to cheer her solitude with sweet sounds. Poets akin to alchemists, transforming ordinary into extraordinary through languages. Poets akin to alchemists, transforming ordinary into extraordinary through languages. Completed.
Beautiful,
Thank you.
beautiful, beautiful. Nice use of solitude. You it, solitude. Beautifully
Exactly.
used.
The word came.
But I must say that how you beautifully write every day without missing a day. Every day is some international day. So you never fail. Please give a round of applause,
Thank you.
Dr. Gangalaxmi Patnaik. Up next is our very own. Yes, she is a fighter, I must say, but she's a brilliant writer, teacher, and Sneha Goel. Please welcome Sneha. Yes, please welcome Miss Sneha Goel.
Thank you, Prasanna. And so nice to see you, Harpreet, here. I have never thought that I would be meeting you here in the platform of the Fertile Brains. And it was lovely hearing you. Amazing. Like, since you mentioned loneliness, and then Prasanna also told that there is a subtle difference between the two, and you have rightly pointed how you can turn loneliness into solitude. So uh, I'll recite my poem around this, how I was lonely in spite of being with so many people. And then when I got out of that, I was not lonely, but I found my solitude. She, the broken one. Though surrounded by people, she was always lonely in the house. When talks with her own would not heal her soul, confinement she would resort to. She could do nothing to change her life because this is what she has chosen to live with in search of the love she craved for. She ended up in arms that never cared for and met the eyes most indifferent. Empty promises and false love. Every night she would get these gifts just to realize every morning his deceit. Where would she find the respite for her soul? Even the best words would sometimes fail. At a party, he let his sister in law insult her. Instead of easing words, he said, "You imagine more than what is being done." At a family ritual, everyone ignored her. She cried, and he said, "You have to bear it." She knew she would always fall, with no refuge in the person by her side. So forgive her life if she breaks someday. She just wants you to know she tried hard to mend her broken soul. The next one is she she the good woman. So this is what is expected of every woman when she gets into a relationship. So after much jiggling and juggling, this society accepted her by eating dinner at her wedding. A good girl, married unbeknownst of the consequences of this gambling. You are married to the family and not just a man, told her beloved parents. She got this inscribed in her mind, wanting to be labeled a good woman for performing the duties of a housewife. But when she was beaten and knocked the door of her neighbor, who suggested, "You see, a good woman should not speak up when beaten by her husband," she understood. A good woman never shows her bruises to the society, neither does she cry outside the home. She is the one who forgets what happened as soon as she steps out of her room. Unsatisfied with the suggestion, she looked for a good woman's definition in God's book. Surprisingly, she found none. There were only societal rule book which manipulates this good woman to be good to subjugate her. When a good woman raises her voice and decides to fight back, that book reminds her of the things that she enjoys at her husband's place: food, clothes, and shelter, which the husband pays for. Kids who call her mother are husband's gift, name of a family that accepted her as their own. Ironically, Society claims to give her things she never asked for. Food which she enjoyed more at her mother's place. Name and clothing, had she not been a housewife, she could have earned. She is good, even if she raises her voice. To ask her spouse to stop and demand justice. She doesn't need a societal rule book, which is a mere medium to fuel patriarchy. She is now free to decide her destiny and is no longer available for societal gambling. So make way for the one who makes her own. Thank you.
It is truth of our
And
society, which you have just expressed in a beautiful poem. Thank you.
it's a kind of traumatic experience someone faces, and that too tries to come out. You can, you know, cathartic, that is what we put it as. Maybe that is a blessing that we maybe that you could just express through his emotional this thing heaviness or mental heaviness. That is what that's built up in the inside. Maybe that's a friend, a companion that for her one finds to be through writing or poetry. That's as but that is Sneha ma'am. That's wonderful. I mean, the way that you and the way you put it as, look, you cannot say sometimes wonderful, some poem, some cannot be, Lantern wants to say something. Yeah, Lantern, please go ahead. So such a, it's an emotional expression. Yeah. Yes, Lantern, go ahead. Lantern wants to say something.
I was saying I'm taking time off. I'm going to the
unmute
convenience.
Cannot get that. Maybe that audio. But anyways, Sneha ma'am, kudos to you, and live up to the spirit and come up with that, keep your spirit high, and yeah, we want to hear some more. Yeah, exactly. Deva ma'am, thanks for the comment, and Deva ma'am, keep supporting, there's a kind of support that is encouragement. That is what I always require. Up next is Shyamaprasad Patnaik. Please welcome Shyamaprasad Patnaik.
Good evening, dear poet friends. Thank you, Prasanna sir, for inviting me to recite my poems on this platform. And my thanks to Patel Friends also, all the entire team members. So my first poem, which I am going to recite, is of the title, My Priorities. Title is My Priorities. I always strive mastering skill to choose from multiple options. Fitness is my priority for maintaining mental health and stress. Gratitude is my priority, always quite humble and divine. My priority for praying to Almighty for bestowing this precious life. Gratitude to Mother Nature for generously providing bountiful aqua and oxygen. I owe gratitude to parents for nurturing equity with charity. I put aside vested interests for overall welfare of humanity. My wisdom, acumen intensifies with unconditional family care and support. Women's modesty foremost for unwavering support as divergent feminine roles. Teachers deserve priority for relentless efforts to shape our future. Fitness is my priority for maintaining mental health and stress. I imbibe qualities of generosity, sympathy, and love from the society. My wisdom, concerned about enhancing my intrapersonal connections to boost social relationships. And that is the end of my first recitation. And thank you for listening me. The second poem, which I am going to recite, is my mother tongue, Odia. Recently, we have organized the International Mother Language Day. The Odia poem, which I am going to recite, ମୋ କବିତାର ଶୀର୍ଷକ ହେଲା ଝରା ପତ୍ର ତଳର ବିଷାଦ ଗୀତିକା। କବିତାର ଶୀର୍ଷକ ଝରା ପତ୍ର ତଳର ବିଷାଦ ଗୀତିକା। ନାଇଟିଙ୍ଗେଲ ପ୍ରେମୀ ଯୋଡ଼ିଙ୍କ ମଧ୍ୟବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ପୃଥକତାର ବିରହ ଯନ୍ତ୍ରଣା ସିକ୍ତ ସ୍ୱର ତୀବ୍ରତର ହେଲା। ନାଇଟିଙ୍ଗେଲ ପ୍ରେମୀ ଯୋଡ଼ିଙ୍କ ମଧ୍ୟବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ପୃଥକତାର ବିରହ ଯନ୍ତ୍ରଣା ସିକ୍ତ ସ୍ୱର ତୀବ୍ରତର ହେଲା। ସ୍ମରଣୀୟ ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତ ସବୁ ଦୁଃଖଦ ବିଷାଦ ଯୋଗ ଏକ ସ୍ୱରରେ ଦୁହେଁ ଗାଉଥିଲେ। ପ୍ରେମୀ ଯୁଗଳଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ପ୍ରେମର ଭାଷା ଅନନ୍ୟ। ସ୍ନେହର ଡୋର ଲାଗିଛି ମୋର ମନ ମସ୍ତିଷ୍କରେ। ସବୁଜ ଶାଳର ଶୀତଳ ଛାଇ ତଳେ ବିତାଇଥିବା ରୋମାଞ୍ଚିତ ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତ ସବୁ। ଆନନ୍ଦଦାୟକ ବସନ୍ତର ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତ ହ୍ରଦକୂଳର ଫୁଲ ବଗିଚାରେ ଚେରି ଗଛର ଛାଇ ତଳେ। ଶୀତ ଦିନର ଶୁଖିଲା ପତ୍ର ଥଣ୍ଡା କାମୁଡ଼ାରେ ବଳକଳ ବିହୀନ କାଠ ଭଳି। ଅଗଣିତ ପକ୍ଷୀମାନେ ବସା ବାନ୍ଧନ୍ତି ଶାଖା ଉପରେ ଯତ୍ନର ସହ ତିଆରି କରି। ଅସଂଖ୍ୟ ପ୍ରେମୀ ଯୁଗଳ ପକ୍ଷୀମାନେ ସେମାନଙ୍କର ଗଭୀର ବନ୍ଧନକୁ ମଜବୁତ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ପୁଣି ଥରେ ଶପଥ ନିଅନ୍ତି। ସରୀସୃପ ଗୁଣ୍ଡୁଚି ଏବଂ ଶୋଷକ ଶାବକମାନେ ଖୁସିରେ ବୁଲୁଥିବା ଗର୍ତ୍ତ ଏବଂ କୋରଡ଼ରେ। କିନ୍ତୁ ହାୟ ଶୁଖିଲା ପତ୍ର ଖସିଗଲା ଭୂମିରେ। ପକ୍ଷୀଙ୍କର ସୁନ୍ଦର ସ୍ମୃତି ହଜିଗଲା। ପତ୍ରହୀନ କୁତ୍ସିତ ଗଛ ଆମକୁ ପୁଣି ଥରେ ମନେ ପକାଇ ଦେଲା ବସନ୍ତର ସୁଗନ୍ଧିତ ଅନୁପ୍ରବେଶର ସେହି ଅପୂର୍ବ ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତ ସବୁ। ପୁଣି ଥରେ ନୂଆ କଅଁଳ ସମୁଜିବା ସବୁଆଡ଼େ ଉଭା ହେଲା। ପୁଲକ ସହ କୋମଳ ଏବଂ ଶାନ୍ତ ପବନକୁ ଡାକିଲା ମନ୍ଦ ମନ୍ଦ ମଳୟ। ବିବିଧ ରଙ୍ଗର ଫୁଲ ଗୁଡ଼ିକର ଅବିସ୍ମରଣୀୟ ସୁଗନ୍ଧିତ ମହକ। ଗଭୀର ନିଦରୁ ପୁନର୍ବାର ଜନ୍ମ ହୋଇଥିଲା ନଶ୍ୱର ଶାଶ୍ୱତ ପ୍ରେମ। ଚାନ୍ଦିନୀରେ ଆଲୋକିତ ଶାନ୍ତ ସ୍ନିଗ୍ଧ ଉତ୍କୃଷ୍ଟ ଏବଂ ରୋମାଞ୍ଚିତ ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତର ସମ୍ଭାର। ପତିତ ପତ୍ର ତଳର ବିଷାଦ ଗୀତିକା ସମାପ୍ତ ହେଲା। ପୁଣି ଥରେ ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ଅମୃତମୟ ହେଲା। ସୋ ଇଏ ଥିଲା ମୋର ଓଡ଼ିଆ କବିତା। And this is the end of my recitation. Actually, the poem is written, begins in the fall and ends in spring, and welcoming spring. So feeling of the second part is, sir. Second part of your, sir.
Second part of your poem turned out to be serious, kind. You know, I felt so. And it's more poetic compared to, earlier, I mean, the first part. It's very deep, it turned to be deep and so beautiful, sir, so beautiful, so beautiful. The leafless tree and, it's beautifully written, beautifully recited. Is it written by you or some other, sir? Shema, sir. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic.
While reciting, was it muted? No, again I have muted. It is muted wrongly, I think. Hello, sir?
No, I was asking whether it is written by you or something.
My own poem, sir. All the poems are written by myself. I don't copy anybody. My own poem, sir.
Beautiful poem.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Such a lovely poem.
Thank you.
That was Shyamaprasad Patnaik. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. I have one. Here we go. I don't know if this is come under the poetic category or not, but yes. Alive were the moments, the rock and roll of things. The rattle of sound of cries, the baby steps of childhood, bike racing of boyhoods. The hiccups at the school, bunking classes of college, roller coaster rides at fairs to the ballroom dance floors. Gathering books to close in rush to take a nap, late night wake up being a party animals to the bachelor shows, got entangled in the ties of marriage, lost the lessons of college and school only to learn the life for some or other the region, happy to lead the way it is if nothing goes being what's so called ups and downs. No sauce or spice as one grows old with ticking of times. Still alive are those moments, rock rolling of the soul, rock and roll, rock and roll. I don't know what is, but it's only poetic imagination. That is it. Anyways, I hope you liked it. Harpreet ma'am.
Yes, sir. Tell me.
Did you? I mean, please show.
Sorry?
How do you like it?
I love this. I love all of your poems, though I don't
No,
understand.
my writing, ma'am. Come on.
It is beautiful. It is, I feel as if you are, you are speaking about inner child or your inner self or what you are actually, what you are showing in front of others, but you are inside a very bubbly and very lively and very energetic person, and still a child. Your inner child is alive. That is what I felt. Is it true or not?
I don't know because I'm not married.
Oh, you are not married. That is why.
That's why I said poetic imagination.
Okay. You will find someone soon.
Gods must be crazy.
God is crazy for all of us. I'm telling you. He created a unique pieces who are sitting in front of, me, or I myself is a crazy person. I must say that. So we are different, we are unique, we all are beautiful in our own self, in our own way. And I'm feeling really good
Thank you, ma'am.
being here.
No,
Thank you.
jokes apart, but yes, I'm truly honored for your kind of reaction, the words that you put out. And small 3 lines, maybe for Sneha ma'am. Darkness unveiled, bloomed to bliss. Light penetrated, haze dazzled. That's it. You got it? He never got it.
Once again, sir, once again, you created just now. I'm sure about it. Can you recite it once again?
Darkness unveiled, bloomed to bliss. Light penetrated, and haze dazzled.
Lovely.
Thank you so much.
Lovely.
Okay, that brings us to the, what do you call it? Final, I mean, yeah, we got Nayma. Nayma is a British, no, should not use those kind of things. But yes, she is a brilliant writer and award-winning poet. Please welcome Nayma. I love her readings. Nayma, please go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to share 2 pieces. First piece, The Imposter. In the rooms that twinkle with crystal and opulence, the women with Modigliani necks, bejeweled and bedecked, talking about young skin, exercise, and nutrition, of flamboyant designers, fashionably Parisian, camouflaged, complacent, copulence. The men in Armani suits and Swiss watches, consuming business with malt whiskey anecdotes of St. Moritz and après-ski, an arcade of silver-spooned swatches, a spectre occupying the void in hand-me-downs and Primark shoes, a day tripper just passing through, the type you usually avoid, a spectre occupying the void in hand-me-downs and Primark shoes, a day tripper just passing through, the type you usually avoid, hair brittle and untamed, face conveying time's inflictions, no fillers or Botox injections, expression caged and contained, the Cheshire cats who smile sweetly, tiptoeing around class discreetly, a barrage of plummeting playing cards as the Queen haughtily stands guard. I inhabit my place completely. The advantaged advancing out of isolation, the fortunes that swell with predation. I am the stranger in my lady's chamber. Thank you. And the second piece. Loritor. There is no return to Safi, because now it is Safi, a word to express enough that it could ever be enough. When I feasted on you through its streets and cafes, through the craggy coves and bloodlit bars, the light twisting and turning like blood, swirling, burning in the buried recall of the heart, where once its roads ran like rivers of red and green, magnificently magnified exaltations, unabashed, uncontainable ululations, a nation's pride exploding in an anthem of bellowing beeps, making moon eyes over the seafood platter, smiling as we snuck the cat of prawn, riding the glorious crest of that dawn, the richness of comfort making us fatter. I have abandoned the throne above the sea, its living surface ablaze with bejeweled grandeur, the bogus queen with illusions of grandeur, never believing such beauty could deceive. I will not return to your hopeless dream that trespassed its hope on the heart and dared me to aspire to the stars as the heavens fell apart at the seams. I will not stroll on her dazzling beaches, where you gently cupped and kissed my hand, where my name lays buried in the sand, the breeze carrying away hope's pieces. I will erase you from all maps that lead to you. Perhaps I may hear your name on another's lips and reminisce, retrieves you, and the heart skips. But the heart's folly will find no pathway back to you. Thank you.
Mesmerizing, Nayma, as always. I can never I never get tired of saying that, I love your reading. That was Nayma. Please, please interact and just I'll take a break, please. Nobody's interacting. I mean, you could interact yourself. So please welcome. That was Nayma. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. Please welcome Dr. Roopali Gaur. Hi, friends. Sir. How are you? How is it going? Roopali, ma'am. I can see Pran. Okay. Anyways, that. Please welcome Dr. Gargi Saha.
Thank you, Prasanna sir. Greetings to all. Thank you for giving me space in this spectrum of poetry from poets from all over the world. Today I have my poem, Save the Earth. I grieve to see Mother Earth in pain. The sorrows are innumerable.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Green Earth is turning gray. Deforestation and pollution. Forests are being cut down by leaps and bounds. Infinite creatures are on the verge of extinction. Air, water, and sound pollution. Plastic is found in the oceans, a threat to marine creatures. I grieve to see Mother Earth agony. Continents are retreating and intersecting. Glaciers are melting. Landslides killing men suddenly. Seasons changing, facing the extremity everywhere of nature and humanity. Save the earth, save the universe. It is exploding silently. Oh, Mother Earth, I wish to love you, protect and save you. You caress life. How destroy your magnanimity? Thank you. That was the first one. And the second one is eyes. Simple eyes they seem, but holds volumes to comprehend. It takes ions to fathom the complexities of semantics in those eyes. Eyes appear as they are, but the real essence is different. Eyes may be innocent, wise or shrewd, cunning, just or berserk. So much holes in those eyes. To comprehend, it takes eyes to fathom the reality of the deep surface semantics. What appears on the tip of the iceberg is just a fraction of the underlying facts. Reality differs from what floats on the surface. Eyes convey so much meaning. Those eyes are noteworthy. Thank you.
Those eyes are noteworthy indeed, ma'am. वही आंखें, वही आंखें, वही आंखें, आंखें बहुत कुछ कह जाती हैं, बहुत बहुत कुछ कह जाते हैं और never believe in the eyes. So beautifully expressed, so beautifully expressed. Lantern wants to say something, but he is fading away always. Harpreet, ma'am, we got few minutes. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. We could react on Gargi ma'am's.
Yes. The first poem was about the Mother Earth, which I loved because we all need to think about Mother Earth. We are, destroying Mother Earth. In that way, we are destroying ourselves, our future. So it is time to heal. Even I have written a couple of poems on that, on nature, save the nature. But I will recite next time, not today. Also, the second poem, when you are talking about, that is very, very emotional poem. So I liked it. The I say all. What is the last line? Can you please say again, Gargi, Dr. Gargi? The last line.
Yes, ma'am.
The last line of the second.
On the surface, eyes convey.
Eyes?
Yes, I'm saying, ma'am.
Yeah.
On the surface, eyes convey so much meaning. Those eyes are noteworthy.
Yeah. See, eyes. I have a.
Those eyes are noteworthy.
Noteworthy. N-O-T. Or noteworthy. Or to note is the question here. If it is not worthy, and as Mr. Prasanna Kumar said, you shouldn't trust eyes, but in my opinion, you should look at the person in the eyes to know his or her inner being, because eyes are mirror of your soul. Eyes are the mirror of the soul. I have seen into many people's eyes, and sometimes I got scared, and sometimes I fell in love with those eyes. This I just created here because this happened with me. When I meet anybody, I don't listen to their words. First, I look into their eyes, because eyes cannot lie. Eyes cannot lie. You can lie. You can speak whatever you want to speak. You can lie, but eyes cannot lie. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Very well
Absolutely.
said. Very well said.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Very good.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, that brings us to the end of today's recital. Please join us next Sunday. As you got Saturday, but of course today is Saturday. Yeah. Thanks for sharing your pieces. I'll see you next week. Same day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.